Find things that are right in front of you and start putting them together like puzzle pieces.
It's more important to know who your clients are not, because once you know who your clients are not, you absolutely know who your clients are. And isn't that who you want to spend your time with?
When it comes to suffering, I'll tell you one thing, and I'm going to be very blunt. Is that okay with you on this one?
Mm-hmm. Please. All right, man. I know you were a college dropout, which by some people's account makes you a loser. You went from college dropout right into a warehouse worker. Again, congratulations. And then you went into luxury real estate, and your first deal was $1.25 million. Not a bad first deal, but you did this in 6 months. So you went from loser to hero in 6 months. Greg, how did you do this?
Dude, zero to hero, baby. That's kind of the name of my game in my life, apparently. You know what really came down to when I was able to make that transition and morph into a different version of a human being is basically the love of a father. To be honest, my father, Terry McDaniel, I call him the Grandmaster. I'm the junior Grandmaster. Purely because I made that up because he's been a broker in 3 different states, been awarded every single stinking award you can possibly imagine. And I got to sit at his feet and learn. So I went through a turbo course of education where I could sit and learn from the actual grandmaster. He got coached by the highest coaches in the country. He grew up with them. He came up the ranks with them. So they're not like they're foreign people. They're actually personal friends, like spend like vacations together kind of friends. And so I thought it was kind of silly willy and nilly and just kind of stupid, to be honest, that it was his dad's job. But why am I doing real estate? This is ridiculous. I want to be a movie star, go back to Hollywood. That didn't work out. Thank goodness, by the way. And I started working with him, and he mentored me through doing real estate. Now, if I had listened to him, it would have been a lot more productive financially because he's like, Greg, go be the condo king. Go find every condo building, get to know every layout, get to know every aspect of that development, and then sell that. I'm like, why? I want to do multi-million-dollar homes like you. And he just shook his head. He's like, you stupid. And I'm like, he didn't say that, but that was just going through his brain. But I started my way, and that's kind of where I started with the 1.25 million. Kind of haven't gone anywhere past that or being below that necessarily. But yeah, that's kind of the beginning of the origin of the story.
Well, I love it. I love it that it was your dad because most kids don't usually follow in the parents' footsteps. They actually push back against that, especially in today's times. It's even more prevalent. But the fact that he was your mentor, but you still didn't listen to him because the riches are in the niches. And that's what he was trying to instill in you, like be the condo guy. And then you're like, no, Dad, I'm going to be the luxury guy. Fuck you. Look at this $1.25 million deal I just did. Take that, Dad.
Suck it, Trebek. This is what I'm talking about, okay? And he's like, okay, young blood, let's see how this works out for you. And I wish I had listened to him. You know what? Here's the thing, guys and gals. If you have a mentor that's been doing this for a long period of time, like Chris and his staff and the people around you on a daily basis, and you're just getting in or you're revamping yourself, take the time and please don't be me. Listen to mentors that are in your life. They're there for a reason. And they will help catapult you to levels you've never been to or couldn't even dream of being in the shortest amount of time humanly possible. I know from my time with Chris and over our multiple years of friendship and just exchanging notes that he and his team are full of so much information that if you don't take advantage of them, you're literally barking up the wrong tree when it comes to financial advice and moving forward in life.
But the same could be said for you. I mean, listen, like you learn from one of the best. I mean, like people would have to pay a lot of money if they could even pay your dad to mentor them. But you were his son, so he took you under his wing. He showed you the way. And I think we've just lost our way in society with what we call wisdom. I mean, when we look at, our grandparents and you look at seniors, like think of that. They've got, we'll just use 70 years, right? 70 years of wisdom on this earth. And how we look at it today, I feel, or at least the society looks at older people as, oh, they don't even know how to use AI. They don't know how to use their iPhone. They don't know how to use Chat GPT and all these things. And they use that as a crutch, but that's actually where we're going off the right path in society. I feel like, our grandparents, the seniors, like they have the wisdom that we need to know. And that wisdom is getting back to time is the most valuable thing we have. And, I think when you sit down and you talk to somebody who has wisdom, like your father, there's just so much we can learn from them, but we think we can learn more from a computer. by Chat GPT. And I just think that's a false reality. And I just think that's leading us to the wrong place. But you have kind of taken what you learned from your dad and you did this. Now, you're a broker. You're one of the, I believe, and I don't know this to be factual, but one of the top brokers in your area and in your space. But you don't just take all that and just keep it to yourself. I've been out to your events where you bring other realtors in and other brokers in, and you show them the way, and you basically take them under your wing. Talk a little bit about like why you do that, because you could just do it for yourself and make plenty of money and live a good life, but yet you, for some reason, feel the need to go out and teach others what you've learned.
Yes, that's a phenomenal question, and that's something I don't really share a lot about because I just don't think anybody cares. But I'll tell you the 100% truth of the story. When I got into the real estate and I was after working in the warehouse, I was a complete knucklehead. Let's put it that way. I mean, I would show up hungover I used to be a bouncer. So from my bouncing job at night on a Saturday night, show up to a Sunday open house, fall asleep in it, not take the job seriously. Then I got a reality and check. And my business partner, my father, both two different individuals, Chris and Terry. Terry, my father, Chris, our business partner. And they kind of gave the come to Jesus conversation with me. And I said, F you, essentially. And I walked away from the business, very entitled. And I went and did another job in sales for a little bit. And I was doing in real estate, by the way. And I was down in Long Beach, and I was at this broker's office. And she was a very successful broker, but she couldn't figure out this one contract she was trying to negotiate. And I was sitting there doing my job, helping her with this new product. And I just said, about up to here. I'm like, look, this is what you need to do. Do this, do that. Contact this person. They're going to get you this product. Go back to your client with this proposal. Come back, go to the agent, write up your documentation, submit it over, signed, and you're going to be good to go. You should be able to get your deal based upon what I've been hearing. The agent's like, didn't even think about that. I'm like, I still got it. So I came back to, I'm like, I'm in the game, baby. And I come back to Terry and Chris, and I sat down with lunch, and I had my hat in hand, and I was just like, please, sirs, can I come back on the team? And they had no right to say yes. They had no right to say yes. Took them about 30 seconds. It felt like 30 minutes. And they're like, okay, you can come back. That was the decision. That was the point, Chris, to answer your question, that I decided that exact second, because they showed grace, love, and kindness and humility. I mean, they allowed me to be humble in front of them, that I was going to repay it and pay it forward to every single agent that would ever listen to my voice or see my face, because the knowledge that I have in my noodle up here, the 6 inches between my ears, I could pay it forward and give other agents the ability at a no-cost, low-cost basis to, and I purely did it because I wanted to make the other agents around me better. So when we did a deal together, they would understand the contracts, they understand the process, they understand marketing, they understand a ton of different aspects. And I didn't, people told me so many times, Greg, you have to charge for your time. And I said, absolutely freaking not. And here's the reason why. I was showing love. I was showing grace. I was showing considerate. They were being considerate to me. I would do the exact same thing to anybody and everybody who ever reaches out to me. So I started this funny little, I literally made it up, Chris. I just one day on my podcast, I said, you know what? I'm instituting the McDaniel Challenge. Came up with it literally out of thin air. And I'm like, I will give anybody a free hour of coaching, no strings attached, no credit cards involved, no products to be sold. I will coach you for free. Come, DM me on my phone number, 925-915-1978. Gave it on every show. And I was booked up for like 2 or 3 months. I was feeling pretty good about myself. I'm like, people are actually responding to me. Somewhere in the universe, a switch flipped. And within 1 week, I was booked out a year and a half of coaching calls.
Wait. Something. So because of this offer, you got booked up like a couple months or whatever it was. But then all of a sudden something happened. You're booked up a year and a half?
A year and a half. And I couldn't keep my bookings straight. I was rebooking them because I'm like, shoot, I doubled up on you. Can you move to this day? Can you move to that day? Everybody was compliant with it. Now I said to myself, there is not a chance in frog fart hell that people a year and a half are going to show up for this call. 99.98% of the people showed up for every single call, including the very last person, a year and a half out. And they've been like, Greg, I've been waiting for this for a year and a half. And I said, I can't fucking believe you waited a year and a half. That is, I am not that cool, but I am sure heck going to take the compliment. Thank you. And it was gratifying, but I had to stop it because what am I gonna? I'm not Gandhi. I'm not gonna make someone wait 2 to 3 years to talk to me. That's just egotistically and just wrong. And so, but I was humbled. I mean, so many good connections, and then I've had a lot of people tell me, based upon giving to this community that was reaching out to me, there were guys and gals that I heard some of the most horrific stories. Chris, I'll tell you off air some of these stories. They are just, you can't repeat them in public. What people went through, and people broke down to their last dollar, and they now own multiple different brokerages. They're thriving. They're making a hefty 6-figure, if not 7-figure income through what just a portion of what I told them. And they put their own spin on it. But people said, well, why didn't you ever charge? I said, because my return on payment, my time return for them is for them to succeed and thrive and just pay it forward in any way possible shape. I don't care if you open the door for an old man, get that short little old lady in the store, that can of beans on the top shelf. I mean, whatever it is, pay it forward. And I said, that is the only thing I require and ask from you. And every person has said they would do it.
So let me ask you a question. This is something I talk about a lot. I'm a huge Earl Nightingale fan. I listen to his stuff nonstop, and he talks about this a lot. It's literally a universal law. You know, if you give, you get, but you can never expect to get. And for a year and a half, you gave your time just giving. Just tell the audience, like, you gave. What happened to your career? What happened to your business? Because you're giving up all this time. I'm a year and a half out. You're giving all this time up. What happened to your business?
It exploded. I got more referrals. I got more friends. I've had more connections. I have, and when I say leverage in a good way, like if I know that there's someone that needs to learn how to be their own bank, I'm like, dude, I got my boy Chris. You got to talk to him and his people. He is like the legit OG. Okay. They're like, really? Do you know anyone's invested with them? Like, I know several people and they're making phenomenal returns. You got to talk to them. Okay, because you like him. I said, I do like them. And you know what? Those are the opportunities. You be like Chris, like you and your team. You are a connector. And once you become a connector, you become invaluable. Once you become invaluable, then people will come to you day in and day out for knowledge, advice, and just to be your friend, because they know that if they have a friend that needs some help and a connection, they can come to you, and now they are the conduit for that success or recommendation. So the circle goes all the way around, and it's, once you understand that you can do everything online these days, everything, AI, phenomenal product.
Yes.
What is even more phenomenal is getting together with 3 to 4 people, having a lunch, a coffee, a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, cocktails, whatever, right? And then be that connector, build that relationship, go online to offline as fast as humanly possible. Your business will explode like I did with my hour-long trainings. I became literal friends. And I've had several people tell me, because of our conversations, I've actually never shared this part ever in the past. I've saved 3 people's lives from committing suicide based upon, they can call me whenever. And they said, Greg, you're the only person that picked up the phone. I said, you know what? I'll always pick up the phone for you. You're my friend.
Wow.
And that's the power that you possess at your fingertips at no cost, boys and girls, to go out there and change somebody's life for nothing on your side, but it means the world to somebody else.
And see, this is that wisdom, right? We're talking about something so powerful that no matter who's listening to this, no matter where they're at financially, they could be a billionaire, because we do have lots of billionaires that listen to this podcast, and we might have people hanging on by their pinky. But if they just apply this thing that we're talking about, the give mentality, just give, find something you're good at, find something you can share and give it, that your path to success isn't a maybe, it is guaranteed that you will be successful. But the second you switch that focus from giving to getting, it will revert just as fast. Like, you know, and I would urge anybody listening to this, like, test that out. Try that. Like, give, and then pick a period of time and just give your best stuff away for free. Do it. And just watch what happens. It's not going to be like you do a webinar or you do a coaching call with somebody for free, and then tomorrow you get, but you know what you will get? You'll be driving through a busy parking lot and a front row parking spot will open up. And please don't think that's coincidence. That is the universe giving. And those little things will continue to just keep happening. But then, just as an experiment, flip it around and stop giving. And now all of a sudden, now everything you do, you have to charge for because you want to get. and watch how fast everything unwinds, and it will happen in rapid succession. And I see this happen all the time. I see this happen with gurus out there who, they start by doing something really good and giving, and then all of a sudden, then it's charged, right? We see this on TikTok. Like they'll start a TikTok or I don't know, whatever YouTube channel, and they're giving great stuff. Then all of a sudden, you got to become a member. And just if you spent some time researching that person's, next couple months or next couple years, you will see that things get really rough for them. And folks, I just want to instill, this is not a coincidence. You might think this is foo-foo, woo-woo, whatever you want, fuck you, that doesn't work that way. I guarantee you it works this way. But because you're so caught up in your own life of it's me, I got to make, my time is valuable. And granted, your time isn't just valuable. Your time is, you can't even put a dollar amount. But yet your whole life you've been taught to trade hours for dollars for a certain dollar amount. And yes, as time has gone on and you've got better at your skill, you have thought your hour is worth more. Well, guess what? You've screwed yourself thinking that way because your hour is completely you can't put a price to it. It's unpriceable because it is invaluable, and there's no amount anyone should ever be paid for their hour that is worth it because you can't get that hour back. So given that, if you just went out and you took that hour and you gave it away for free to help somebody else, what will happen is you will be rewarded in an unlimited fashion, and there is no end to it. But the second you stop, the second you start thinking, oh, why am I doing this? What's in it for me? What's the juice, for the squeeze, blah, blah, blah. It unwinds. I've seen this in my life multiple times. Because listen, sometimes you just got to be kicked in the nuts more than once. And I know for all you men listening, you're like, I don't want to be kicked in the nuts. But yet you do get kicked in the nuts multiple times in life because you just haven't learned. You didn't go to the grandparents and ask for the advice that they would have just said, hey, listen, you don't want to get kicked in the nuts. Don't do this anymore. Just keep giving and stop, taking and whatever it might be. But it's such a simple formula, yet that's not taught in schools. It's not taught in colleges. It's not taught anywhere. You literally just have to go through the school of hard knocks of getting kicked in the nuts because that's what it takes. And some of us learn the right way and some of us don't. And luckily you did. So listen, folks, if you're listening to this, you can't see his place, but his place is pretty freaking epic. And I guarantee you that's not his only place, but then you're like, oh, well, how'd you get that? Well, because he gave and he keeps giving. So Greg, let's just talk about the success that you've had in business. Because listen, there's a lot of people out there that are realtors or brokers. I mean, they're just, I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but they're a dime a dozen. They're everywhere, right? So what is it that made you climb to this level of success and then show a bunch of people to the level of success? Because there's a lot of people that are going to listen to this. They're going to be like, oh, it's not just because you gave and did this, which we know, you and I know that is what it was. But what else did you do that made for your success?
Well, Chris, I want to go back to the whole, number one, I go back to the front row parking spot thing. I wrote this down when I'm looking down. I'm not disrespecting. I'm just taking notes. And my dad does the same thing. He will pray. He's a very spiritual individual. So is my mother. And he'll pray, Father God, I ask that you would provide me a front row parking spot. Now, if you're not religious, I get it. I thought it was a lot of BS in the beginning too. Every time he did this, he got a front row freaking parking spot. It does work, and it comes from giving because he was the one who gave to me, and he gives to a ton of people. But to answer your direct question here, Chris, is that besides giving my time away for free, and people still chastise me for that, but I really don't care what people think. That's not my issue, what you think about me, and that's fine. But my number one thing is curiosity. I'm consistently curious about different out of the box ways that are not being utilized. I was a deer hunter and a pig hunter when I'm in my younger years. And I would go up to what we call deer camp with my grandfather. It was like a 7,000 acre ranch in Northern California. I think it was fucking the size of Maine. It was huge. And I looked at my grandfather. I was probably 10 or 12 years old. I mean, I was a little munchkin over human, right? I said, Grandpa, and we're on this hill, basically at 45 degrees. There's 10 dudes in this old Willys World War II Jeep that could climb a mountain without even breaking a sweat. And I said, Grandpa, how do you see the deer in the trees? And he looked back at me. He wasn't the nicest man on earth at that point. And he looked back at me and goes, Greg, look for what doesn't belong. I'm like, what do you mean what doesn't belong? He's like, look for antlers, look for legs, look for feet, look for something under the trees, look for something in the brush that's not brush. And I'm like, oh. So I took that from a hunting, perspective to a marketing perspective. And so then I look for what isn't there. So Chris, let me ask you a question. What's the name of the supermarket that you go to on a consistent basis?
Wegmans.
Okay, Wegmans. Now, what do you put your food on when you're going to check out of the store?
I don't like a conveyor belt thing,
Conveyor
or
belt.
just like I don't go to the grocery store much, so you kind of get me out of my comfort zone. Usually we just pull up and they bring the food out, but like that's first
You're one
world
of
problem
those.
here.
You're one of those.
What do they put your food on? Shopping cart, and they put it in the back of the car. But back in the day, like yes, you would get the goods in the shopping cart, put them on the conveyor belt, ching 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 ching. Yes.
Wegmans. Then you pay them an absurd amount of money, and you walk out feeling good about yourself because you look at your receipt like, oh my gosh, I saved $10. Here's the thing. There's advertisements on the back of the receipts. There's advertisements on the cards. There's advertisements in front of the stores. There's advertisements around the store. Where are two places that are not being advertised in, but are the most visible spots that you can possibly ever think about in today's day and age?
Wow. I don't know.
So do you have that thing called a smartphone anywhere near you?
Yeah. There it is.
So pick it up. Show me how you look at your phone. Okay, guys, if you can't hear this, Chris says, no, you were looking down.
Yeah.
So you're looking down. So what's down?
The floor.
What was on the floor during COVID?
Nothing.
Stickers. The 6
Stickers?
foot apart things that say 6 feet apart.
Oh, yeah. Shoot. I live in New York, so like they didn't let us out of our house. But yeah, I think there was probably
okay,
stickers.
totally different. But the stickers. So here's the thing. Why not make a deal with local small grocery outlets or convenience stores and get advertisements on the floors? Now, I did a little bit something different. There's this liquor store or convenience liquor store, deli, whatever, neighborhood corner store, right? I used to go into it all the time, and I saw that their counter was getting all kinds of dinged up and banged up or banged around. I said, guys, how much does it cost to replace this counter? They said, X, Y, and Z dollars. I'm like, if I could provide you a protective coating that I'll put an advertisement on and I will pay you $100 a month for my advertisement to be here, would you be open to that? He said, yes. I'm like, great. Now I got myself a real freaking problem. I have a client, prospective client's I'm gonna, get them because I'm paying for their location and their repeat consistent traffic. I can't have to pay for that. It's already built into this location, right? They're already successful because they're still open. So I went down and I found a 3M wrap from, I use Fast Signs. I go to Fast Signs and say, look, I need a countertop, 3M wrap. Do you have something like, oh yeah, we got that. I went to 5 different stores. I got 5 different stores to let me put my advertisements right where everybody put down their beer, their wine, their Snickers, their Skittles, their water, their sandwich, whatever. Stayed there for 10 months in each store. Cost me $1,000 per every 10 months per store, right? Best investment ever. So $5,000 totally in. Then I started thinking about, why don't you look for other places? What's moving that's never not moving, but you see, but you don't see? The conveyor belts.
Yeah.
Imagine having your ad repeat, 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 and then you off-sell other segments of that conveyor belt to offset your cost. So now you're at a zero operating basis. No one's looking up at big old signs along the freeway anymore. No one's looking at all the jumbled ads in the newspaper because that went away like the dodo bird a long time ago. Find things that are right in front of you and start putting them together like puzzle pieces. Therefore, when you stand out like Chris, you're wearing, the BYOB, your brand. Sure, you have your brand behind you. This is what I get all my emails from you. It's all the same brand, right? Why are we not doing things like that? Why are we not branding ourselves consistently in places that people always look? Like go to a gas station. See those old triangle things? I don't know if they have them in New York, but they put them around the bumpers so that people don't run into the gas filling machine thing on bumpers. Why don't you put a thing around those? They're doing them in California. Put your brand around these things. They're going to stare at your damn face and information while they fill up their gas tank. It's free.
Yeah.
What about gardeners? Gardeners run around town all day long. Why don't you go pay them $100 a month? Giant metal sign with your brand behind it in every single neighborhood. They're parked for an extended period of time. People are going to look at your brand. That's why I say staying consistently curious, find things that nobody are doing. Do the blue water hunting method, not the red water hunting method. Go do the things that nobody says can be done and do it at a high level of success, because you're going to stand out way above everybody else doing a mailer or a phone call or any kind of marketing program you're going to put out there. But just be curious. Chris, I mean, would you agree with that? I mean, it sounds like I'm resonating a little bit with you.
I mean, I still do weird things, all the time. And my marketing team will say, why would you spend money on that? I'm like, I don't know, because it just seems to make sense to me. It's like, that's the things I look at. So why wouldn't I do that? I mean, yeah, we spend a lot of time, and I spent a lot of money on logos. And a lot of people are like, why didn't you just come up with your own logo? Why didn't you just ask ChatGPT to do your logo? I'm like, well, because I wanted something that was sticky. And how I've always done my logos, I said, what's something that everybody associates with money? What are some things that people would associate that they're very familiar with? Like how we came up with this guy, right? Well, to me, as a child, me and my grandpa would always play Monopoly. I associated Monopoly with money. And the Monopoly guy is, if I'm not mistaken, pretty well associated with wealth, high wealth. So
yeah, the banker.
I said, okay, what other guy does everybody know? I happen to grow up on Planters peanuts. I love those little bastards. The dry roasted, salted Planters, love them.
Yes.
I know that Planters peanut guy with the little monocle. And a lot of people don't even realize the Monopoly guy doesn't have a monocle. But everybody, when they look at this, they're like, Monopoly guy. I'm like, nope, that's not. He doesn't have a monocle, but the Planters peanut guy does. So you took two very recognizable logos, we blended them in, we made enough changes where we're never going to have trademark infringements or anything like that, and hence we had this logo. And then I just put something underneath that will make every person on an airplane ask the question, well, what is that? BYOB, is that bring your own beer? Because that's what people know of it. Well, it could be bring your own beer, but it's be your own bank. Oh, wow. What does that mean? And now you've got your elevator pitch, and now you've got the conversation started. So that's how I've done it. And I put this son of a bitchin' logo everywhere I go. I mean, at the resorts, the ski resorts, like I post that on the poles. I used to do that when I had a skateboard, snowboard shop.
Yeah.
And like literally, like when you're on the lift, what else do you have to do? Nothing. You're looking, and every pole that comes up, you're just staring at the
smack.
Yep. You're like, what is that? Oh, Fat Man or BYOB. And then they start asking the question. And then when they see it somewhere online, they're like, oh, I saw that at Holiday Valley. I saw that at Kissing Bridge. Like that's it. Like it's guerrilla marketing. It's grassroots marketing. That's all it is. Riders, like I'm a financial company. Like, why would I want my logo on snowboards, of people? Well, I sponsor athletes and I put my logo on there. Why? So that other people look at their board and like, what is that one? I've never seen that in the magazines or on the videos. Oh, it's be your own bank. Oh, what is that? Well, check the website out. Watch the video.
Now, are you putting QR codes on these with this day and age, or just purely doing branding?
I don't love the QR code thing. I'm not going to lie. Like we do use QR codes, but I don't put it on everything. No, a lot of times I look at it a little bit more of a macro. Like I don't really so much need somebody. The call to action I know is important, but the call to action for what I do has to be in the right place. Because if I put a call to action on my logo just where nobody knows what it is and they're just interested, it's a waste of my time. So what I try to do is just get them to understand the brand awareness. The Coca-Cola model, I think, is a great one, or a Pepsi model. Like they just put the logo, the little logo. You don't even, but everybody knows what it is. And when you see it now, you associate that with that crisp, first sip of the Coca-Cola, because every other sip of Coca-Cola is awful, but the first one's pretty magical. And like, you just know that logo associates with that feeling you got when you first take a sip of Coca-Cola. So I'm trying to do that to the financial industry. So my industry is incredibly boring, much like yours. Like we're in just boring industries, old fashioned marketing, terrible, like ways of marketing. Like it's just that our industries suck at marketing. They always have.
Bad.
But you know what companies and you know what industry is probably the best of the best of the best at marketing? The snowboard industry. I grew up with that. They're so innovative, maybe more so in the past than they are today. But when I grew up in it, companies like Volcom and Burton, and you're starting to see it back with Burton in the Olympics, like with Snoop Dogg and things like that. They're doing really radical, fun stuff that you want to be part of just because it was like, that's cool. Whether you're a snowboarder or not, you're like, that's cool. And I just was like, I know that industry. I came up being a pro snowboarder, owning snowboard shops. And I'm just like, that was so fun. And then I became a financial advisor. I'm like, this is not fun. This is boring. So I just took what I learned in snowboarding and I brought it to the financial market, and I get a lot of shit for it. I get a lot of people pushing back saying, "Oh, that's because it's not norm." But that's what you did. You went for the not normal. And that's the thing. Just be different. Like, do the thing that nobody else is willing to do. And the secret to success in today has never been simpler. If you just do just a little bit more than everybody else, you will be wildly successful. I always just say, do just a bit more than everybody else is unwilling to do, and watch how fast you rise to the top. This is the only time in my 48 years on earth that I've seen like such a simple path to success, because we are literally in a society that is so filled with conformity that literally people just don't even know why they push back against everything, but they push back against everything. I think it's the media and politics, like they just have taught us just like push against everything that isn't what you've been taught or what you believe. And I don't know. I just think that is what has opened up this simple path to wealth.
Chris, I couldn't agree with you more, and I'm astonished that I'm astonished in a good way that you brought up the fact that both of us are in very, very, very boring industries in regards to marketing. It's like, check out my interest rate, look at this new product I have, blah blah blah. You literally want to go throw up in your barf bag and then drink it for lunch. It's horrible.
It is. Let me just hit on. Let me pick, because I love this. Let me pick on your industry a little bit. I love this. I love driving around and you see all the signs with the realtor's face, and that realtor, and you're like, that is from 30 years ago. They don't even look like that anymore, or that is so photoshopped. I think that's just hilarious. It's just like folks, if you can't see Greg right now, like he's got a hat with it, like it looks like an American flag on it. He's got a beard, like doesn't look like your trim and proper, realtor that you would see out there, a broker. But like, that's the point. That's what makes him different. Be different than everybody else. And that's what you've done so well with. It's like, you don't put a suit on to go sell that $1.25 million property.
No. So the funny thing is, when it comes back to being super different, like back a couple months ago, my life shifted. Let's put it that way. And I had two dogs, two big old German shepherds that were literally my best friends. They went everywhere with me, and life shifted, and I no longer have my compadres. But when it came to going to multi-million-dollar listing appointments, working with buyers, I said, look, guys, I'm going to have my dogs with me. They're two giant German shepherds. Are you guys cool with that? Every single time I would tell them, I'm not a flashy person. I'm a very down-home guy, probably wearing a baseball hat, a t-shirt, jeans, and Vans tennis shoes. I'm going to have two dogs. Are you cool with that? We love dogs. We're casual too. Well, absolutely. We're so in.
Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action like so many others have by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
I actually picked up a listing because my dog took a poop in a backyard of a prospective client's home. And I'm like, I am so sorry. They're like, oh, we love it. I got bags. I'll clean it up. I'm like, are you serious? And then they do it. And they're like, well, where should we start the paperwork? I'm like, his name's Rupert. I'm like, Rupert, good job, dog. Way to go. But I mean, that's an outlier, of course. But I mean, it's like going back to your snowboarding days. Now, what made the snowboarding and the energy drink industry so interesting? Because they're so beyond crazy with their cool ideas. Like, I only saw it one time because this was when I lived in San Francisco. To San Francisco one time, the Flugtag. Now, if you guys don't know what Flugtag is to Red Bull, it's where people come up with the weirdest flying contraptions, then launch their human bodies off a ramp and attempt to fly a certain amount of air, a certain amount of space. 9 out of 10 times, they just hit shit right into the water. Straight into the water, and you laugh, you clap. This is great. Then you get the guy going 10, 20, 30, 50 yards. You're like, yeah. Now, why do I bring that up? I bring it up because it's memorable. Red Bull is memorable. Flugtag. I still remember my buddy James Fiera. What is his last name? Fiera. James Fiera. Kind of like the cook, but not the cook. And we went to Flugtag together. We were not the best of friends. We had a blast. Still remember it. Still beautiful. For a lot of the times, when it comes to doing things out of the box, Chris, do you remember the Zion XB? It was like this little Toyota. It's like this. It was like a 4-sided little square box that drove around Well, turning little go-kart wheels on it. Anyways, the older models were straight sides on 3 sides. So
wait, the Scion.
Scion, yeah, Scion.
Oh,
Scion.
yeah. We always called them the what did we call?
Clown cars.
Toasters on wheels.
Yeah, I didn't call it toaster on wheels, but it's perfect analogy. And so I saw one of these things driving down the road, and I'm like, ooh, that looks like a 3-sided billboard that's consistently here. Now, my rationale wasn't all that intact in regards to my finances on this one, but it still made a lot of sense at the end of the day. So I got this thing fully wrapped with a 3M wrap, had my face, my business partner, my dad, Terry, on it, our brand at the top of the roof with an American flag on it. It was wrapped bright red, covered all the windows except for driver and passenger. And I drove that thing around everywhere. Everybody made fun of me. Like, oh, that's so dumb. Why are you driving that? That's ridiculous. Within 6 months, I saw at least 3 to 4 other agents get one. And then my brokerage got one. I'm like, well, I'm on to something. Then I went to another event, and it was like a moving truck, a 14-foot moving truck with my face the size of like 5 feet by 5 feet. I'm in. So we got a moving truck. Then we got a second moving truck. We gave it to every single charity, every organization, every public entity, anybody, other agents, other people, anybody who wanted to borrow it, they could do it. That went around for a long period of time. Then I'm at a bar restaurant. It was called That Bar, but they closed down a while ago. It was like a family restaurant during the day. And the manager was yelling at her staff, going, you know what? You guys are idiots. You're going to ruin my brand new wood countertop. And my brain goes right into custom coasters. Oh, custom coasters. So I get on my handy dandy little, wasn't an iPhone at that point, it was an Android. And I look up custom coasters. 4 cents per coaster, double-sided, full color. I leaned over to my lender who's sitting next to me at lunch going, you're going to do 50-50 with me on this, or you're not going to get any of my business in the future. He's like, okay. We gave away over 50 to 60,000 of these away to that bar. We get a couple of calls like, hey, come Lester House. And we get one call, which is my favorite call of all times. This guy calls my team manager, I think, goes, she's like, hi, McDaniel Callahan team. How can I help you? And he's like, yeah. Why don't you come over and sell my house? Okay, sir, not a problem. How did you hear about this? Quote, I've been putting my beer on your face for 6 months. Can you sell it?
That is like, so awesome.
Like, yes, it worked. Not to mention pins and coupons from different restaurants. I'd take the coupons to open houses. It'd be like a 25, a 10, a 20, a half off, and buy one, get one free coupons from 5 different restaurants, and I'd give them away to people. Now, these are $2 million, $3 million, $4 million homes we were selling. Every time, all the people would sneakily take the $25 gift certificate to a steakhouse. Oh, my wife loves it. My husband loves it. My cousin loves it. My nieces love it. Lying sack of shit. You just want to get the $25 gift certificate, but it had our brand on it, and it stuck around. It went in the junk drawer. Every time they opened up to get a pin, they saw my brand. Same with the pins. That's out of the box, guys. Think something different. Be creative. Be weird. Be funky. Be willing to be told that you're an absolute lunatic. It's like when you did your first big trick, and everyone's like, dude, are you sure you want to bust that on this jump right now? And you're like, I got this, man. I freaking got it. You did the approach, launch, stuck it, and you rode off going like, that was epic. That's the same feeling everybody can get by sticking the landing on someone everybody says is crazy, but you know in your heart, like the BYOB brand. Like, that's nuts, man. People aren't going to get it. No. As soon as you explain it to them, he's like, be your own bank. You're like, describe that to me a little bit more, please. Boom, done. Hitch.
And that's all you need. You just need somebody to ask the question. I was just on a plane the other day and, having a glass of wine with the guy next to me who's in the industry. We're just chatting. And the realtor said, I'm so sorry to interrupt you guys talking, but I got to know, what does your hat mean? And I told her, I said, well, it means be your own bank. You take back control of your money by being your own banker, and she's like, that is amazing. How do I learn more? My kid, I feel bad for the rest of the first class cabin because she pretty much, she just talked to us the whole time, kept bringing us more wine, fun trip. But like at the end of it, like we were talking about her 401k, telling her, hey, be careful what's going on. Anyway, like a bunch of stuff. And like we left, and then you just know, like, she's not going to forget that moment. But like, It was all because she just saw this thing that looked familiar on my hat. And she's like, what is BYOB? Because the hat doesn't say be your own banker. Well, it does, but it says it very small, so small that you couldn't see it. But then when you're looking in, you're focused. Now all of a sudden I got you. Now you're asking the questions. And that's what you do. You just got to get people to ask the question. Like that guy, my beer's been going on that coaster for 6 months. Sell my house. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. And let me go one step further. And, people
Sure.
thought I was crazy. This is going back almost a decade ago. I came up with this idea because I didn't want to waste time. Time is the most precious thing you have. And we would like basically put it out there. Hey, if you want to learn about like blah, 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 how to get all the money back for the cars you buy driving on, how to build wealth with your own debts and expenses, give me a call. And I get people on the phone and I would try to walk them through this process. And it was a complete failure. And then one day I'm like, you know what? When I first learned about this, I watched a 90-minute video and I remember bitching, literally being upset that this guy was going to make me watch a 90-minute video. The audacity of that son of a bitch thinking I'm going to spend my 90 minutes, to which I did, and to which is what started it. So I said to myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to make every single person watch a video before they can even do a call. And just to make sure, I'm actually going to ask them in the beginning questions that I know they could only answer if they watched the video all the way to the end. And if they didn't, I would just say, did you really finish the video? Oh, well, we got halfway through. Okay, hold on a second. In respect for you, I want to solve your problem, but I can't solve half of your problem. I'm going to kindly stop this call and I'm going to request that you watch the rest of that video. Maybe just watch the whole thing again. When do you think you could do that by? Oh, I could do that by tonight. Great. Let's set up another call for tonight. What time works for you? Oh, I can't do tonight. All right, tomorrow. I get them on the phone. See, you see, what I did is I held them accountable.
Yeah.
And people don't like being held accountable, but they love being held accountable. But now when I had them on the phone, I had their full attention because they did watch the whole video and they knew what problem they wanted to be solved. But now they were committed. You see, commitment's a rare thing nowadays. People aren't committed to much of anything, especially in the social media thing. It's seconds, right, that you get their attention. But when you make somebody and you tell them you have to watch a 90-minute video before you can even talk to me or anyone on my team, you're going to push some people away. But you know what? It's more important to know who your clients are not, because once you know who your clients are not, you absolutely know who your clients are. And isn't that who you want to spend your time with?
Yes.
That's all we did, folks. Like, call it stupid, call it genius. You can call it whatever you want. It worked. But
it's not stupid, Chris. It's not stupid in the slightest. I'm going to push back really quickly. It's not stupid in the slightest. I don't want that to be a deformation in regards to kind of someone's thought pattern. This is protecting your time and their time as well. Because if they're like, well, it sounds nice, but I'm not the best client for you. Why did you waste 90 minutes of my day then? Or 45 minutes, whatever the time frame is for the call, right? 60 minutes possibly. But once you get someone committed and they come in, they took notes and they're really going deep in regards to asking you questions, they're really interested in what you have to say and what you have to offer, that is your people 1000%. And it's the same adage of like this, like Chris, if someone comes to you, a young, thriving male or female, they're thirsting for knowledge and they say, Chris, may I carry your bags to the airport? Can I drive you to the airport? Can I just get some time? I just need just give me one thing. And you're like, okay, I'll do that for you. And they drive and you talk and they get what you want. If they want, you give them what they're needing. And then you say, if you're serious, I want you to come back with me with 3 to 5 questions in the next 5 days based upon what I've told you to go do. Now, if they come back to you and they're detail oriented, I will guarantee you and confirm or deny this, that if I was that individual, I came back, you said, Chris, you told me to do A. I did A and I got B, C, D, E, F, and G in results. And these are my thought patterns between each one. And I think C and maybe part of D are where I want to be. I just don't know my next steps. You'd be like, you know what, bro? You got what it takes. I will spend time with you. Would you give time to that individual?
Absolutely.
That's the point. That's why I give time. That's why you give time. That's why we don't both do podcasts. Seeing people thrive and grow in their own lives at an exponential rate of speed, that then they can then benefit the people around them and their families and themselves. They can live a different version of life. They can get the Porsches. They can have their own podcast. They can go on ski trips. They can go to the Caribbean and drink a Mai Tai. I don't care whatever your flavor is, but you have the drive to do it. And when Chris or I say, do this, try this, go for that, and you do it, I guarantee you we'll sit down with you and we'll give to you until it makes your freaking heart hurt.
And I'm going to go
your life.
You're absolutely right. And I got to add on to this.
Go.
Because this is something that a lot of people make the mistake. And I guarantee you realtors and brokers make this mistake more than anybody else. We think because our family, our cousins, our parents, our sisters and brothers, we think because that we're family or we're close with them, you add best friends in there, they should do business with us. You are leading yourself to a path of failure. And, you know, Jesus said it best, whether you're biblical or faithful or not, doesn't matter. And I'm not going to nail this, but Jesus said, you will not be a prophet in your hometown or in your own family. And he meant that. So I will tell you, like with what I do, I have thousands of clients throughout the nation. And you realize I work with no one in my family. And in my family members, no, my mom, but I pay for her banking system and we used it to buy her car, but she would have never done it on her own. But nonetheless, no one in my family, no one. And here's a unique thing that happens. And I want everybody to really listen closely to this because this is important. My family members in, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, they know what I do. They see the cars, they see the house, they know. And like, they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, Chris, can you show me how to do that be your own bank thing? And, you know, they want me to like stop and then give them personalized attention. And some of you are going to think I'm an asshole for what I'm about to say, but here's what I say to them. I say to them, no, I cannot. But here's what I'll do one better for. I'm going to give you a video. I'll text it to you. Grab your phone. I'll text this video to you right now. I want you to watch this 90-minute video because all the people that I've helped, the thousands of people I've helped solve problems for, they all started here. So this is how you start. Well, can't you just tell me what's in the 90-minute video? Absolutely not. You, son of a bitch, are going to watch this video just like everybody else did. Now, how many times do you think my family member, and this is a true story, and I'm not going to give what family member, but they know it if they're listening to this. How many of them do you think watched the 90-minute video?
Based on what our discussion so far, I'm going to go with probably zero all the way through. Yeah, maybe 0.1%, but I'm going to
none of them. And I even told them, you could use this for this. You could use this for this. Your debts that you're complaining about, this will get rid of those. Like, but none of them watched the video. And again, I revert, and you can all Google or look it up, like the biblical quote from Jesus where he said, you will not be a prophet in your hometown or in your own family. Don't waste time. Yeah, I know you want to. You want to help them, but they have to want to help themselves more than you want to help them. That's the thing. People need to want to solve their problem more than you want to solve their problem. By making them commit to something, making them spend their time, the most valuable resource, on doing something before you will even spend a second of your time with them is not selfish. It is actually helping solve their problem the right way. And it is teaching them something very important. Chris, that's where I'm going to end this thing because that is honestly the best advice I think I could give anybody.
Chris, let me ask you a question. Who's your favorite actor?
My favorite actor? Probably Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Now, would you go spend 90 minutes to watch a Brad Pitt movie?
Absolutely. Everyone he's in, including F1.
Now, explain to me why you'll watch 90 minutes with Brad Pitt, but you won't watch 90 minutes to make yourself financially, free.
Well, I don't know, because I envision myself being like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, me too, except for he's way more better looking than I am, and he's got a lot more
better looking than me too.
Together, we're pretty damn good looking.
I mean, the two of us together, we got Brad Pitt for sure.
Then we got Brad Pitt beat.
I think Brad Pitt maybe in the movie Troy. I think maybe he's got us there, but I think that's the only movie he's got us combined.
I think he got us beat on that one.
That was a good one.
Here's the thing, guys and gals. Think about this a very simple analogy. Your favorite actor or actress. Look, if you're not going to press the mute button, McDaniel, you go get your point across. If you are going to spend 90 minutes or 120 minutes watching that saga, that drama, that action, that thriller, that horror movie, that rom-com, whatever, right? Whatever your flavor is, no judgments here, right? But if you're going to spend time doing that, but you want to be like the actress or actor that has the money, has the house, has the cars, has the lifestyle you want, but you won't watch a free video for 90 minutes? We got to reprioritize our objectives in life. Because if you want to be a couch potato, God bless your soul. Go get them, you chunkster. You know what? Don't move. Get the extra fat, popcorn, and get that a double dip on ice cream and everything else. But that's not going to help you in anywhere in life. Watching and understanding where you want to grow and who you want to grow with is going to be the most powerful thing you do in your life. And pick 5 people, guys. So in all that, it's as cliche as it gets. Show me your 5 friends. I'll show you your future. You hang out with people who do drugs and drink all day long? Congratulations. I see a single wide in your future. You know what? If you're going to go hang out with Chris and other incredible thought leaders, you're going to go so much farther you can ever possibly think you can get. I mean, what was that movie with when the guy would take that magical clear pill and his brain would light
Oh
on
my
fire?
gosh. Yes.
Effortless.
Is that Inception? Is that the name of that movie?
No, not Inception.
Not Inception. That's Leonardo. I know he takes it and it just open. And I want that, man. I want that pill.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper.
You know what that pill is? You all want to know what that pill really is? Fast for 3 days, and in the 3rd day, you'll understand what that pill is.
Fasting, I thought fasting was kind of a poo-poo no-no thing. I thought, my parents do this, and I'm never going to do it. You couldn't be more right, Chris. You fast for 3 days.
I do a 3-day fast every month and intermittent fasting every day.
I do the intermittent, and it is phenomenal on what your body will do and respond to. Oh, you start thinking clearer. You're moving faster. It is. You think I'm nuts, guys? Try it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be hungry?
Watch that movie first with Bradley Cooper taking that little pill that opens his whole mind up, and then just know all you need to do is not eat anything besides water and black coffee for 3 days, and in that 3rd day you will understand because your mind will open up, and that is no joke.
It is
superhuman.
No joke, but Chris, that's terrifying because I like to eat food. I like my eggs in the morning, my burger at lunch, and my steak at dinner. How could you ever ask me to do something so ludicrous?
Because that's what life is about. You have to go through the hard things. The obstacle is the way. And on the other side of the hard part is glorious, is everything. But people, very, very few amount of like right now, this episode, right? We've been going about a little over 50 minutes. So anybody that's still listening to this, guess what they are? The person I want to talk to, the person you want to talk to.
Yes.
Okay. Because they are the committed ones. They are the 1%ers, not the 5%ers. They're the 1%ers. So the people that are willing to go through the hard shit and go through, literally it is a form of, I guess you could say you're suffering. You will suffer going to a 3-day fast. But at the end of the 3 days, here is what happens. Number 1, you get that clarity, but also your body is resetting itself and healing itself. It's almost superhuman. Your body is repairing itself. You got a torn ligament. Guess what your body does in that 3rd day and beyond? It repairs itself. You don't think that's possible because your doctor said, oh, this tear is the only way to fix it is surgery. Bullshit. Bullshit. Study it. Your body will heal everything. And listen, I'm not going to go as far as to say cancer, but there's a lot of proof and a lot of things that have shown that like people that have had cancer that go on proper diets that starves the cancer and do regular fasting, which is suffering, they have beat cancer and literally the cancer is gone. I'm not going to say that's always going to work. There's a lot of variables, but like just think of the possibilities. And that's all you got to do is go through the suffering to get to the other side.
Yeah, Chris and I are not doctors, so please consult with your physician.
Yes,
on
please.
That one.
Yeah, we should put a big disclaimer in that.
Big time.
But there's so few people still on the podcast after 50 minutes anyway. So we're talking to the people that get it. But, go ahead.
When it comes to suffering, I'll tell you one thing, and I'm going to be very blunt. Is that okay with you on this one?
Mm-hmm, please.
So back in my younger years, I was a knucklehead, like we all were, right? And I was, let's say, into a few things that I shouldn't have been into. So I picked up smoking when I was 13. Shoot, I was 13. I was in junior high. I think junior high. Anyways, worked at a hay and grain thing, and everyone there smoked, so I started smoking. I was up to smoking a pack to 2 packs a day I did it for 20 years. One day, a girl came into my life, and she's like, oh, I could never date a guy that smoked. And I was like, ping, 20 years, right out of the back. Never looked back, never touched a cigarette again. That's probably about 15 years ago now. Cocaine. Got into coke in college, OD'd when I got out of college, freaked out. I quit it that same day, never looked back. Hard alcohol, same thing. I was drinking over a handle of vodka a day plus beers 7 days a week because I was masking a lot of pain. And I hit a breaking point and I quit in one day. The reason why I share this is I quit three of the highest, most addictive products on earth in one day. And here's the reason why. Because everything that I wanted was on the other side of pain. And I knew that I could beat it because I'm not going to die after 3 days. I don't care what your body's telling you. You're going to be fine. Drink the water, drink the coffee. You know, you'll be right as rain. Now, what's your pain threshold? Where do you stand on what you can endure to get what you want? Once you identify that, those parameters, now you have your plan to move forward on your first step. Mine's a little extreme. Chris, when he was doing all of his snowboarding, skateboarding, everything else, I guarantee you there were dates he did not want to strap on that board and hit the slopes and hit the pipes and everything else for practice and getting ready for competitions. There's days he's like, dude, I just want to be under a blanket with a hot cup of cocoa and a fireplace, and I just don't want to go. I banged myself up on one of my last landings. My shoulder's killing me, but I'm going to go out there. That's pushing through the adversity in life, boys and girls. Find your pain point and then push it another 50% past it. There's a great thing, Chris, and I'll leave it here and let you wrap your show. You'll know this. It's a Christian movie. It's about a high school coach coaching football, and Brock is the big leader of the team.
I know this movie.
You know exactly where I'm going with this. And and the coach comes up to him, goes, you know what, Brock, I need you to, I'm gonna put you to a test. Essentially, I need you to go 50 yards with let's call him Matt, who's 130 pounds, quote unquote. So they blindfold Brock. They get him on the turtle crawl. Get the younger kid they're going back to back. Now Brock is pulling them. And the coach is yelling and encouraging, yelling and encouraging, yelling and encouraging, yelling and encouraging. And the Brock's going, Coach, I'm hurting. He's like, keep going.
You're almost there.
You're almost there. Keep going, Brock. I need you to push. Come on, Brock. And he finally lands. And he didn't make it to the 50-yard line. He made it to the end zone.
Yeah, all the way.
And then the kid on his back goes, Coach. Yeah, in a second, Matt. Coach, what is it, Matt? I'm actually 140 pounds.
That is such a good scene. And I'm sure everybody's seen that on, the different social medias, but like that is life. Like you can do so much more than any of you think you're even humanly capable of. You just got to believe it's possible. And sometimes you got to put the blindfold on and somebody's got to guide you. And, you could use that movie. You could use Rudy. Rudy had one person that believed in him.
Another great one.
It was a freaking janitor. I mean, his friend and his brother, but he passed, but then it was the janitor. And look what he did. All you need in life is one person to believe in you. That is it. And really, all you need in life is you to believe in you. And that will get you where you need to go. Listen, Greg, I got to wrap, but how do people get a hold of you? They got a house they want to sell. They want to work with you. They want to take part in those coaching things with you. How do they do that?
You know what, guys, I'm a very simple human. Do not email me. It will get lost. So go and shoot me a text or a phone call. This is my personal cell phone. I do pay the bill, so you can't get a hold of me. That'll make Chris laugh on that one. It's area code 925-915-1978. Shoot me a text and say, hey, look, I heard you on Chris's show, the BYOB show, and I would like to talk to you about blah. Not a problem. We'll set up a time. And guess what? It's free. And I want to see you thrive and grow. And I'll connect with anybody that I know that might be a benefit for you. So that's the best way. Text or call me 925-915-1978. I appreciate the opportunity to get that out there, bud.
Love it. Love it. Greg, this has been a super fun interview. I knew it was going to be, but we went down some roads that I didn't think we were going to go down. So thank you for joining me for this episode. And folks, all of you that are listening, thank you for joining me for this episode of Money School Elite. We'll see you next time.